It is 6 o'clock. I'll call the February 10th, 2026 meeting of the Wythe County Board of Supervisors to the order. I will note that we do have a quorum with all members present. Tonight we have Pastor Vanessa Baldwin from Bethel AME Church to provide the invocation. If you would stand and please remain standing for the pledge.
Good evening, everyone. Let us bow our heads and humble our hearts at this moment. Holy and eternal God, we come before you this evening, boldly approaching your throne of grace to make our petitions known to you. We request your presence and wisdom to be present during this meeting. Wisdom and instruction are the way to receive the knowledge of justice, judgment, and equality. In Micah 6:8, we are reminded to act justly, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with your God. May these elected officials be ever mindful that the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. Dear Lord, guide each member of this Board of Supervisors in their work this evening, and bless the people of Wythe County that they serve. We pray this in the mighty, powerful, and matchless name of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, so let's try this mic again. It was pretty hot there just a minute ago. So, first item of business is citizens' time. I will remind you, you have 3 minutes to speak, and Ms. Crockett will be keeping time. So as I call your name, if you'll come up and state your name and address, and we'll get going. So first person on it is Mr. Andy Cagley.
Good evening, Andy Kegley, 840 Rose Hill Road, Wytheville. Two things. While we wait to hear about a suggested listening session with the Solus Arcs staff, Preserve Wythe and the Wythe County Chapter of Virginia Organizing would like to announce there will be a listening session on Saturday, February 21st from 11 to 1 at the Heritage Preservation Center. There will be a panel of folks who've worked to slow or stop data centers in other locations around the state. And we'll devote half the time to people's questions, listening to their concerns. On the subject of the capital improvement plan on your agenda tonight, there are many questions being raised that ought to be discussed, and probably more than in any one citizen's time slot this evening. For example, the inclusion of $10 million in FY28 and beyond for general property acquisition and arena development lots infrastructure. More information is needed on that, please. And then, secondly, I recently listened to a podcast, Mr. Terry, that was on the subject of homelessness. I heard you say that a couple winters back, you tried to get your fellow board members to get out in front of the growing homeless problem, and I commend you for that. That coincided with the end of COVID relief funding made available nationwide. Despite personal responsibility, the economy simply hasn't recovered for those on the lesser end of the continuum, and the shortage of new affordable housing here and everywhere isn't keeping up with the demand. So what you addressed then is exactly what you and your fellow supervisors should be doing, even more so today. Please convene a task force of the folks who work in the field, who have experience, to talk about fixes. Speaking after 3 decades of work very specifically with those experiencing homelessness, not the homeless, I would strongly encourage you to push for a piece of the capital improvement plan's new revenue from Solus Arcs, maybe like 0.01%, to go toward the services and housing necessary to fix this problem. That would be a good start, because everyone complicit with the data center development will ultimately be driving the unemployment and homeless numbers way up before you know it. Thank you.
Second. Next person to sign up to speak is Mr. Mike Forrest. Mr. Forrest?
Mike Forrest, Withers Road, Wytheville. Thank you, board members, for allowing us to speak. I'd like to speak about allocation of the projected data center tax revenue. While I do not support this decision to allow the data center, the board has made its choice and the project is approved. Moving forward, we must ensure that the projected $10 million in annual property revenue, tax revenue, is managed to provide the greatest benefit to our citizens. I suggest the following: 10 to 20% to go to teacher salary for retention and education for better education for our students. That would be teachers and aides. Direct tax relief, 10 to 20% should be used to annually lower the tax rate. This would bring it down from, I believe, our 51 cents per hundred to either 40, 45 cents per hundred. This reduction would provide immediate, tangible economic relief to every taxpayer in the county. In capital infrastructure, the remaining 60%. This amount would have covered 87% of the FY 26 capital budget, allowing the county to address major future infrastructure needs without incurring additional debt. Furthermore, I urge the board to investigate a county-wide zoning ordinance. Currently, 91% of the jurisdictions in Virginia operate under zoning codes. Wythe County remains a clear outlier. The board should, at a minimum, initiate a formal study of zoning and actively seek citizens' input. Our residents deserve a framework to protect our property. Thank you.
Next person signed up is Miss Stacy Beamer.
Good evening. If you know me, you know that I speak from my heart. I don't give figures or laws or political. It's all from my heart, so bear with me. If you have children or grandchildren that live in Wythe County, would you raise your hand? Children or grandchildren? Guys, you guys too? Okay. The other day I was in the mood for some Southern gospel music to listen to, so I got on my phone and I typed in Southern gospel music. And this little fella popped up. His name was Solomon Ray, and he could sing. Boy, could he sing. Nice-looking man. His songs had great lyrics. They were Christian lyrics. He even had videos. So I listened to him all day long, and the next day I thought, well, why haven't I heard of this guy? Why have I not heard of this name before if he's that good? So I went to the search bar again. I typed his name in, and this is what came up. Solomon Ray is not a real person. He is an AI-generated gospel and soul musician marketed as a Mississippi-made soul singer. The voice, the images, and music are entirely created using AI tools like ChatGPT. Now, I know we can't stop AI, but in my opinion, this is going to turn into something evil with the way people use it. We can't stop it, but we don't have to support it. So as you make your decisions, please think about the future of your children and grandchildren for this county. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Beamer. Next person we have signed up is Tony Floyd. I'm sorry, Mr. Tony Floyd, I apologize.
What was that?
I said Mr. Tony Floyd, I apologize.
Okay. Evening. So I'm going to speak on a variety of topics real quick. I only have 3 minutes, and there's too much to cover. So during the last Board of Supervisors meeting, it was stated that there was an attempt to schedule a meeting with Solus Arc and was still in progress, but no date had been determined. I also understand that there was an interest in having a representative from AEP be present as well to answer any relevant questions there. Given the level of public concern around the data center project, citizens are asking for transparency. One clear way to provide that transparency is through this meeting. Can anybody provide an update on this expected timeline? You can answer after I get done. I'd also like to address the capital improvement plan. I appreciate the amount of work that goes into a plan of this size, and I did attend the recent Planning Commission meeting. That said, I believe that the public would benefit from a clearer prioritization and identifying the funding of sources where known, and more transparency about the long-term debt and operating impacts as the spreadsheet that is provided. Matt could clarify some of that if there was additional columns to the right that would explain that. I know you went over it in person and I was there, but for the people that don't, it may be helpful. This plan includes a very large investment in utilities, schools, and emergency services. It would be helpful for residents to understand which projects are essential and which are driven by growth and which are discretionary. I encourage the board and Planning Commission to publish a more readable public version that includes narrative explanations at a high level and clearly assigned priorities. The goal of transparency, the goal here is transparency. Citizens want to know whether projects are truly necessary or simply nice to have. For example, is the office furniture in the office dated but still fully functional? Does it need immediate replacement? Can a school or public building be renovated instead of rebuilt entirely? Is there a demonstrated parking issue that justifies the need for a parking garage? These are all reasonable questions, and clear explanations would go a long way towards building the trust. All those items are mentioned in the capital improvement plan. Finally, I would like to address the projected tax revenue from Solus Arc beginning in '28. The project is expected to generate $10 million more every year to Wythe County. This is not a one-time windfall, but a long-term revenue stream with the potential to impact for the county for decades. Because of that, I strongly urge the county to treat the revenue with the highest ethical standards and a long-term mindset. This money should not simply replace existing revenue or absorbed into routine operating expenses, but I ask the board to consider placing it into a dedicated reserve or investment vehicle, using only the earnings to fund priorities which represent while preserving the principal. Many citizens remain frustrated with how this project was approved. The best way to rebuild trust is through responsible, transparent financial stewardship. I respectfully request a written, public, accessible policy that clearly explains how Solus Arc revenue will be protected, invested, and used going forward.
Thank you, Mr. Floyd. That's all we had signed up for citizens' time, so I'll close citizens' time. Next item on the agenda is presentation of resolution. I think, Mr. Burnett, you're going to read the resolution.
Resolution 2026-01, honoring Robert H. Walk. Whereas Robert Walk was appointed on June 9th, 2009, and faithfully served over 16 years on the Wythe County Planning Commission, including service as vice chair from 2016 to 2020 and chair from 2020 to 2025. And whereas during his tenure, Mr. Walk provided valuable insights, expertise, and leadership, significantly contributing to policies guiding the planning and growth of Wythe County. And whereas Mr. Walk has played a central role in the creation and implementation of Wythe County's comprehensive plan and was instrumental in various key development projects that have shaped the county's infrastructure, economy, and future growth. And whereas Mr. Walk consistently demonstrated dedication, hard work, and unwavering commitment to improving Wythe County for the benefits of its residents. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Wythe County Board of Supervisors, assembled in regular session this day, 10th day of February, 2026, extends its deepest gratitude and appreciation to Robert Walk for his many years of distinguished service and conveys its best wishes to him and his family for continued success, happiness, and good health in the years to come. And be it further resolved that this resolution be entered into the official minutes of this board, and that a copy be presented to Robert Walk as a token of the county's sincere appreciation and respect. Adopted this day, 10th day of February 2026. I will make that a motion, Mr. Chairman.
All right, I have a motion. Do I have a second? Got a second by Mr. Terry. Any discussions or concerns about the resolutions? Hear none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Anybody opposed? So moved. Congratulations, Mr. Walk.
Mr. Chair, if I might, I would like to add, I express appreciation to Mr. Walk. He also served many years on the Ivanhoe Fire Department, served years as chief, and part of the reason why Mr. Walk is not here tonight, he continues to serve his community, and he is at a basketball game where he does the announcing for Fort Chiswell, and I think they're making up a whole lot of games this week for the last couple of weeks. So I know he couldn't make it, but I appreciate y'all adopting the resolution and his many years of service. So thank you.
Thank you, sir. Moving on, the next item of business is payment of invoices. All members received a packet. Is there any invoices that you would like to pull out or any questions on any invoice? Hear none, I'll entertain a motion to approve the payment of invoices.
So moved.
I got a motion by Mr. Terry. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Martin. Any questions or concerns? Okay, we'll do a roll call vote. Mr. Burnett?
Aye.
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 Aye. Aye.
So approved. Next item is the approval of minutes from our previous meeting. Again, all board members received a packet of the minutes from the previous meeting. Is there any questions, concerns, or anything that needs to be added to the meetings as presented? Hear none, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
So moved.
Got a motion by Mr. Cook. Do I have a second?
Second.
Got a second by Mr. Martin. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Anybody opposed, same sign. All right, moving on to old business, we have appointments. So I've got one appointment for the Mount Rogers Community Service Board, and that would be, I would like to nominate Ms. Tammy Terry to fill that position. I know we've been going back and we sought legal counsel, and everything seems to be approved for that. So I would like to nominate Ms. Terry to fill that position. Do I have a second?
Second.
Got a second by Mr. Martin. Any questions or concerns with that? All right, so we'll do a roll call vote. Mr. Burnett, I'm gonna start with you because.
Aye.
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 Aye. Abstain.
All right. I started over here because Mr. Terry would have to abstain on that. Thank you. Is there any other nominations?
Library
Okay.
position, I'd like to nominate Miss Cindy McElrath for that position.
All right, I got a nomination for Cindy McElrath. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Terry. Any questions or concerns? Here none, we'll do a roll call vote. Mr. Terry?
Aye.
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 Congratulations, Ms. McElrath. She's not looking up back there. New River Highlands, Mr. Martin, I know you were talking about that. It's the R&D
At
council.
this point in time, no, sir. I
Okay.
don't have anybody for that.
No problems. Moving on to the Appalachian Power Virginia Public Authorities Agreement, Mr. Byrne.
Yes, at the last meeting, presented this to you all. Mr. Morgan had some questions concerning the agreement. I provided those answers to you, but I was comment, part of them was what is the opt-in tariff of Section 13 regarding renewable energies? And as I indicated in my email to you all, this APCO agreement establishes all of the rates from small service to large service to what is our pump stations to things like that. The opt-in tariff is a renewable energy option that any locality has the option to go into. A lot of times when we're dealing with companies want to have their power provided from 100% renewable sources, but AEP does not have that ability, so they have an opt-in tariff, or they have a higher rate for them that they pay. This is an optional rate that the county could pay if we decided we wanted all of our energy to be renewable. We would have to pay a surcharge on top of it. I do not recommend that in the process. It is just in the agreement for any locality that wants to do that. I am not aware of any locality that is entering into that. The second was the electric vehicle tariff, and that is similar, that it's a charge for the locality, if we had charging stations set up for electric vehicles or items like that, that would be the rate we would be charged for the service at those stations. And they've got two options, whether they're putting those stations in or whether we're putting those stations in. That, once again, is an optional tariff. Only if we choose to provide that service will we be paying that.
All right, thank you, Mr. Byrne. I will entertain a motion to approve the Appalachian Power and Virginia Public Authorities Agreement.
So moved.
Got a motion by Mr. Morgan. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Burnett. Is there any questions or concerns after hearing Mr. Byrne's summary? All right, hear none. We'll do a roll call vote. Mr. Burnett?
Aye.
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 All right, so approved. That's all we have under old business, unless you have anything, Mr. Byrne?
sir.
Mr. Hankins? All right. Moving on to new business, Mount Rogers Regional Partners ship presentation, Ms. Ashlyn Shrewsbury.
Mr. Chair, fellow board members, thank you so much for allowing me to be here and give you all a short presentation. For those of you that I haven't met before, my name is Ashlyn Shrewsbury, and I'm the Executive Director for Mount Rogers Regional Partnership. We're the regional economic development organization that represents the counties of Wythe, Smith, Bland, Carroll, Grayson, and the city of Galax. So I just want to go over a little bit of organizational information for you all, and then touch on our last fiscal year in review, and then give you all an update on some of our activities to date for this fiscal year. So our mission is to support the creation of job opportunities, broaden the tax base, and improve the standard of living for the residents here in the region. And we hope to do this through attracting and encouraging businesses to locate and invest in the region, as well as assisting our existing companies with the creation and retention of jobs. We are a staff of 3.5, and we all wear a lot of hats. As the executive director, I also serve as the executive director for 2 regional industrial facilities authorities in the area, which own Pathway Park in Chilhowie, as well as Wildwood Commerce Park in Carroll County. I also help with the regional economic development planning for all 6 localities. Our deputy director oversees our talent solutions programs. She works with our business retention and expansion efforts, and she is recently taken on our investor relations. We have a director of marketing and communications and a part-time office administrator. So some of the areas that we really focus on are to grow and retain and attract jobs and increase our capital investment in the region, promote and communicate the regional assets, align our workforce development efforts with those of the businesses, provide leadership and economic development strategy, and identify and initiate efforts to improve the business climate here in the region. So just some background information on how leads come to be for prospect activity. A lot of our leads originate at the state organization, which is the Virginia Economic Development Partnership. From there, they share those with us as the Regional Economic Development Organization, and then we filter those down through either the joint IDA here in Wythe County or our other local LEDOs, or one of the 2 RIFAs that I represent. And then we also work very closely with our local government, be it our city manager or our county administrators in the region. We also do work with some other lead generation companies and consultants, and sometimes the leads also come from our utility companies. So looking back at our last fiscal year, we were fortunate to support the for one new business announcement, which was plucked. That was in Carroll County at Wildwood Commerce Park. That was a joint project with Carroll County, Grayson County, and the city of Galax. They are a low-carbon greenhouse. They will have 2 greenhouses that are 65 acres in that park, and they announced about $105 million in investment and 118 new jobs. We were also fortunate to support the expansion of Duchess Dairy here in Wythe County with the joint IDA, as well as Hitachi Energy in both Bland and Smith counties. So just some numbers for you all. In the last fiscal year, we helped support 238 new jobs created, $128 million in capital investment. We generated 40 leads and contacts, visited 75 businesses, and submitted 20 requests for information. One of the programs we're really excited about in our organization is Talent Solutions. We know how important it is to show kids in the K-12 system what opportunities are here in our local industry. And so Becky Fisher with my organization leads those efforts. So just some program highlights from last fiscal year. We had 293 high school students served through the Connect and Excellence programs. We visited 35 businesses through the Mount Rogers Connect program, and 506 adults and students were served by the Crossroads and Wythe Bland career fairs. And one of our success stories that we're really excited about is the Twin County Manufacturing Excellence Program that Becky oversees. We actually had a student from our 2025 Manufacturing Excellence class that was able to go in through that program, visit some of our local industries, and when they graduated, because he was actually a senior at the time, he was able to go and apply at one of these industries and get a job now. So we like to say that's one of our success stories, and we hope that that will continue as we move into our new year for that. Marketing and communications, we did 2 new videos. One was focused on talent retention, one was focused on talent attraction. We did have 7 press releases last fiscal year, 24 news stories, and our ad campaign and area development received more than 30,000 views. Some special projects that we've worked on. Through the support of a Tobacco Regional Commission and a Go Virginia grant, we did a regional site study. We worked with the Timmons Group out of Richmond to look at all 6 of our localities. They did a data collection and review and look at all of the available industrial properties throughout the region and narrowed that down to a list of top 10 that were actually represented 5 out of the 6 localities in our region that had sites make it to the top 10. Economic development's a long game, so making sure that once the product that we currently have and are promoting for industrial sites is gone, we want to have something in the pipeline so that when we are having these prospects, we know kind of where to direct them and where we want to make sure that industrial development is going. And so we were able to come out of that with a list of top 10 sites, and we are working closely with our county and city managers to make sure that we are looking at those for future acquisition. And then some of our local and regional projects I wanted to mention were the Wildwood Site 1 due diligence and design efforts, and then the site access improvement analysis and target industry study for Pathway Park. Additionally, my office and as executive director, I do a lot of the lead generation and networking opportunities. So some of the trips last year were a call trip with the state organization focused on agribusiness, as well as a logistics trade show called TPM 25, and then the Select USA trade show, which is focused on attracting foreign direct investment. We also have supported FAM tours in our region with staff from the state organization to be able to familiarize them with our assets so that when they are getting prospect leads, they know what we have to offer and can make those connections for us. So looking ahead at our current fiscal year, through a tobacco grant that we had for marketing and lead generation, we developed a new sites video. It focused on the available sites that we have here in the area, including our industrial parks, Wildwood Commerce Park, Progress Park here in Wythe County, and Pathway Park, as well as some other existing industrial buildings here in the region. We also received a new marketing and lead generation grant from the Tobacco Commission called Reaching New Foreign and Domestic Markets. Through this, we worked very closely with the Transatlantic Business Investment Council out of Germany, as well as a consulting firm, to take a look at the assets we have here in the county and see how they compare to what European companies are looking for when they're looking to relocate or expand here in the United States. They completed a desktop analysis, and then we also hosted them on a site visit last August, and they helped us lead workshops to educate our staff, our local economic developers, and our executive committee on foreign direct investment attraction best practices. And so I'm happy to say that we did earn our certification as an FDI qualified community for the region as a whole. They also looked at Progress Park and Pathway Park and were able to certify both of those parks as being FDI qualified as well. So we try to participate in as many community events and advocacy activities as we can. Some that we've been able to participate in this fiscal year are the Blue Ridge Rising Two-State Summit, the Celebrate Tourism Summit here in Wytheville, the Southwest Virginia Alliance for Manufacturing Expo, and the Business Success Symposium. We also recently, my organization led a delegation that I think a few of you all may have been on last week to Richmond, enabling local leadership to connect with your local representatives in Richmond and be able to talk about the legislative priorities for your localities and the region as a whole. And then just some other projects and activities that are ongoing. We continue to do lead generation and marketing under our tobacco grant, supporting existing industries and retention and expansion efforts, managing prospects at Wildwood Commerce Park, working on access alternatives for Pathway Park, enterprise zone amendments in the Twin County, and then continuing to cultivate our investor relations. We did recently undergo a new private investor model. We've moved to a tier approach. We're very grateful for all the support we get from the localities. And so we are trying to bring in more private investment so that we can continue to grow our organization and support the programs that we're doing as well as expand those. And so we are happy to say that we have been able to add 5 new private investors. We only had 6 prior to that, so we're almost at double now since we started these new efforts. And I just wanted to thank everyone that is supportive of our organization. Our funding is a mix of public and private entities, as well as grant funders. And so I just wanted to thank you all for your continued support. And we're here if you all need anything. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have. And if you don't have any right now, please feel free to reach out. My contact information is here at the end of the presentation, and Mr. Baer also has it as well if you all have any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Shrewsbury. Does anybody have any questions for Ashley?
Thank you.
Go ahead, Mr. Baer.
I don't have questions. Well, just a couple things. Number one, just you may have mentioned, but there are offices up here at Wytheville Community College. The college has been very nice to provide office space up there for their staff, so they are centrally located. The Talent Solutions program has worked out great. And they're trying to get with this new direct investment coming in from more of our sponsors to help pay for more of the activities. Woo, she got me out there, that are going on out there. And the other thing is just, I appreciate the foreign direct investment that they held. That was very informative for staff, for them as well. Just, and, you know, it went into a lot of details, but like little things were things that made sense to me that European countries might look at. And we might just say, well, we've got approximately 50 acres. Well, you know, Bradley Martin knows immediately what 50 acres is and how many cattle he can put on it or how many hay bales he put on it. But he said for a lot of the European companies, it's like, what do they mean about 50 acres? They don't need to know how much land they have. That's like, have detailed information because it's 50.1 acre or it's 49.8 acres. Just little things just little hints and things as you're making your presentations that were very informative for us and for the staff in making things. So I appreciate all the work and the days they spent on that and for getting our area foreign direct investment certified because, you know, we've had a lot of European companies looking at our area and we would like to see some of them land here. I thank you for your efforts.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Yeah, and I'd like to thank you as well for everything that you do for Wythe County to keep Wythe County going in the right direction, as well as the whole Southwest Virginia. We were there. Thank you for being in Richmond with us and trying to do everything that we can with our legislators to move this part of the state forward.
Absolutely. Thank you all for your support.
Yeah, thank you. All right, with that, we'll move on to the next item on new business is Planning Commission. Mr. Hankins, I think that's you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. The Planning Commission has 2 action items they've recommended to you. The first is a minor amendment in the bylaws under Article 2 membership on the first page of the bylaws, Section 2.3. We've added a clarification that lack of attendance includes missing 3 consecutive meetings or missing 4 meetings in any 12-month period. We did have a member that missed 3 consecutive meetings last year. We felt it was important to include this requirement of state code as part of the bylaws so that it's easy for us to keep track and clarify when we have an attendance issue from a member. That's the recommendation of the Planning Commission, that you adopt that amendment to their bylaws.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Hankins. I'll entertain a motion to approve the bylaws as presented.
So moved.
Got a motion by Mr. Terry. Do I have a second? Second. Got a second by several, Mr. Martin. So any questions or concerns with the bylaw revision that Mr. Hankins had read? All right, here none, we'll do a roll call vote. Mr. Terry?
Aye.
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 Right, Mr. Hankins, capital improvement.
This is the second consecutive meeting where Mr. Floyd has been behind me with a camera, so I apologize to all the people who may be watching his stream. If you want a better version, facing this way, it'll be available on our streaming link later in the week. I'll defer to the board as to how you want to go through this, but the capital improvement plan is an annual process. It's a planning process that we use as we go through the development of our budget. So we'd like to have this plan in place before we really get started with budget. We'll get started in earnest with budget later this week with the revenue forecasting meeting on Thursday, and then we'll get into the full budget process. But this is an important tool for us to be able to plan. A lot of the things that you see on here are needs, they're things that we would like to do, but a lot of them we haven't had funds to do or opportunity to do. So we're trying to lay out for you a 5-year plan as required by state code as to how we, sort of plan for those. Some of these are going to get kicked down the road further. You all know, particularly on our water projects, some of that is dependent on federal funding, state funding. Sometimes that funding doesn't happen in the years we expect it to, so we have to move those projects down the road. So it's designed to be a flexible plan that, as circumstances change, we're able to adapt and amend as we go along. You've had the opportunity to look at this before. I shared it with you before we took it to the Planning Commission to get any ideas that you wanted to add. Planning Commission really didn't add a lot. They did recommend by a 7-0 vote that you adopt this plan, and I will mention David Midkiff is now the chair of the Planning Commission. He was elected at our last meeting, so Ms. Lyle made the motion, Mr. Beamer seconded to adopt or to recommend that you adopt this plan. I'll be glad to answer any questions about any specific items that you have. I'll be glad to go through line by line. It took me about an hour and 10 minutes to do that with the Planning Commission. So if you don't have anything better to do with your Tuesday afternoon, I'll be glad to go through it. I'll defer to the board as to how you want to proceed.
What's the pleasure of the board? And I know we've been getting a lot of questions. There's been questions here tonight. I mean, I think the options we've got, we can approve it as presented. I think we can set a public hearing to take public comments.
And you can amend it if you want to make changes, strike anything, add anything you'd like.
So what's the pleasure of the board?
And I think, as Mr. Hankins mentioned, it's a broad 5-year tool. The real meat and potatoes come into the budget. And that's the budget for each year has what your capital improvements that will be in there in the process. But I appreciate what they have done on this. This is more in depth and has some things out there, and a lot of it's looking out for exactly like these citizens are commenting tonight. What in 28, 29, this additional revenue is coming in. What is that going to? What are we doing with our school systems? What are we doing with other things in the process?
Yeah. And just one thing for clarification, just because it's on there now in that specific time frame doesn't mean it's going to be done at that point. This is just a landing spot when you develop the plan, correct?
Yes, sir. It's our best guess as to when we may have the revenue or the opportunity, or in the say the development lots along Chapman Road. If we get a prospect that happens sooner, we may have to move that up.
Okay. Again, what's y'all's pleasure?
I think we need to go ahead and prove it and then alter it as we go.
Is that a motion?
I'll make that a motion.
I have a motion by Mr. Morgan to go ahead and approve it and make adjustments as we go. Do I have a second?
Second.
Got a second by Mr. Turry. Does that generate any questions or concerns with anybody?
I think there was some questions brought forth tonight during citizens' time that if you're able to answer, that would go ahead and do so.
I know Mr. Kegley pointed out a couple. The one specifically that stuck out was the development lots along Chapman Road. So if we are going to be the developer of any of that, there is funding in there for developing streets, utilities, any of the costs that we may incur as the developer for those lots. Our preference would be to sell those lots and let developers do that, but we're setting aside some money just in case, that becomes a deal breaker. There's no guarantee that we're going to spend that, but it's wise to plan for it just in case it's necessary.
Mr. Hankins, for the folks in the room and the folks that'll be listening, once it's posted, just can you clarify the Chapman Road lots where they're actually located? Yes, so the county owns 45 non-contiguous acres, it's 2 lots. One is 15 acres along Pres Jackson, so that's probably more suitable for residential development. We own 30 acres along Chapman Highway below the Hitachi Energy Arena. Our preference is to find hotels, restaurants, other developments that would be suitable near a high-density development like the arena to support the activities at the arena. So we'd very much like to have more lodging and more restaurants there because the county will benefit from the tax revenue that comes from those developments. So we are preparing, Allison has been working to develop a
a billboard to go out there on those lots to help us market them. We have reached out and tried to get commercial real estate companies to help us market those. We've not had any takers, so the county's going to take on that effort for the time being, to try to get those lots marketed so we can get some of those potential new developments in here.
All right, thank you, sir. Does that generate any more questions, or is there any more questions that he needs to address? Ms. Crockett?
The other one was property acquisition. That's if we need new industrial park space, if we need new transportation changes. It would be general development, general property acquisition.
And I'm going to put you back on the spot again, Mr. Hankins. Can you explain why we need to be looking at additional industrial park once Progress Park's completely full?
Yes, sir. If we don't have industrial space, we're not going to get industrial prospects. So to continue to grow and diversify our economy, we're going to need some industrial space somewhere. We have no targets for where that is. As Mount Rogers Partnership indicated, that they've done a site selection study. They've offered some ideas, but nothing concrete. So until we know where that is, we don't know exactly how much it is. This is a placeholder. Could be more, could be less, just depends on the property that we're looking to acquire and what amenities it has to have.
Right. And if I'm not mistaken, Mr. Hankins or Mr. Byer, whichever one wants to answer the question, we missed out on some funding for lot development because we didn't have lots big enough to meet that quota, right?
We've had some projects that we do not have lots that meet the requirements they're looking for, yes.
The state had some funding a couple of years ago that was available for lots that were going to be over 100 acres, and we didn't have a spot in Progress Park that would meet those qualifications. We didn't have another industrial park developed that could handle that either.
So it's essential that we have lots ready for prospective industries coming in, so, okay, thanks, sir.
Yes, sir.
Does that generate any more questions or concerns? All right, so we do have a motion and a second, so we'll go ahead and do a roll call vote. Mr. Burnt, we'll start with you.
Aye.
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 Thank
So
you.
approved. Moving on to the next item, under new business will be with County Rural Retreat, Duchess Dairy Grant. Mr. Byer?
Yeah, this is just to formalize the agreement that we would have with Rural Retreat on the Duchess Dairy expansion, that we will pay $19,000 in incentive payments, and the town of Rural Retreat will pay $6,000 incentive payments. I request that you all approve this agreement.
All right, I'll entertain a motion to approve the agreement as presented.
So moved.
I got a motion by Mr. Morgan. Do I have a second?
Second.
Got a second by Mr. Martin. Is there any questions or concerns with the motion? All right, here none, we'll do a roll call vote. Mr. Terry?
Aye.
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 All right, so approved. Next item is the Sheriff's E-Summons Fund Transfer Request. Mr. Byer?
Yes, sir. Instead of waiting for the Budget Committee to look at this, I went ahead and put this on your agenda. To me, it's very straightforward. The sheriff receives money in their e-summons account for the e-tickets and items that they write. He is requesting, or the chief deputy has requested to transfer $45,399 to the Police Activity Fund, and then that we amend and appropriate this amount to their computer equipment and supplies, which is the equipment that goes in the vehicles to write the e-tickets with.
All right, so I'll entertain a motion to approve the request.
So moved.
Got a motion by Mr. Cook. Do I have a second?
Second.
Got a second by Mr. Burnett. Any questions or concerns with that? Here none, we'll do a roll call vote. Mr. Burnett?
Aye.
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 All right, so approved. Moving on to the next item of business. There's any other new business, Mr. Byrne?
No, sir.
All right, Mr. Hankins? No, sir. All right, moving on to board reports. We'll start with Buildings and Grounds Committee.
Yes, sir. The Building and Grounds Committee met on February 3rd, 2026, and made the following recommendations. Authorizing the MRPDC to proceed with a housing development feasibility study for county property on Pres Jackson Road.
All right, coming from a committee, it doesn't need a second. Is there any questions or concerns with this request? Here none, we'll do a roll call vote. Mr. Terry?
Aye.
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 So approved.
Second item is authorizing the county staff in conjunction with school board staff to proceed with the purchase of the cannery replacement boiler. Alternative cannery sites are still being explored.
All right, again, coming from the committee, it doesn't need a second. Is there any questions or concerns with this request? I'd just like to say thank y'all for moving forward in this and not waiting. I know we're still looking for a spot to possibly build a new one, but I do appreciate everybody's efforts on doing this. So.
Yes.
All right, with that, we'll do a roll call vote. Mr. Burnett?
Aye.
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 Sorry, so approved.
Third item is authorize staff to proceed with the property availability sign and marketing of the 30 acres on Chapman Road adjoining the Hitachi Energy Arena.
Now, again, it coming from the committee, it doesn't need a second. Is there any questions or concerns with this request? Here none, we'll do a roll call vote. Mr. Terry?
Aye.
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 So approved. Anything else, Mr. Burnett?
That's it for the,
I think we're gonna stay with you with the Water and Wastewater Committee.
yes. The Water and Wastewater Committee met on February 3rd, 2026, and made the following recommendation. Approving change order number 2 for the Bearfield Water Improvements Division 1. This is an increase of $34,245.66 in contract amount.
All right, again, coming from the committee, it doesn't need a second. Is there any questions or concerns? All right, here none, we'll do a roll call vote. Mr. Terry?
Aye.
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 So approved.
Second item is authorizing a revision of the water contract and commercial sewer users agreement with Southern Tire Mart.
All right, again, coming from a committee, it doesn't need a second. Is there any questions or concerns with this request? All right, here none, we'll do a roll call vote. Mr. Burnett?
Aye.
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 So approved.
And third item is authorizing full reimbursement or credit of the $75 service fee to Matthew Aker.
All right, again, coming from the committee, it doesn't need a second. Is there any questions or concerns with this request? All right, here none, we'll do a roll call vote. Mr. Terry?
Aye.
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 And that's all the water from the water.
Thank you, Mr. Burnett. We'll move on to Board of Supervisors time. And Mr. Burnett, while you got the hot mic, we'll just stay with you.
4 years ago, we looked at the senior citizens tax relief ordinance that provides a $250 relief to our senior citizens. I'd like to look at that again and see if we can expand that and get a few more of our senior citizens eligible. And then I've had a phone call for us to look at the trash centers again and see if there's anything we can do to verify that we have citizens throwing trash away. And that's all I have. Travis?
All right, thank you. Mr. Byer, I know that's come up. Actually, both of them's come up a couple times. I know we're going into budget season, so we addressed the first one. But the second one, what can we, without going back to county stickers?
I think the best way that we've come up with would be going to county stickers. Some counties have gone back to county stickers, but instead of doing them manually, it's a permanent sticker that goes on your vehicle. That way you don't have to take it off every year in the process. You just have to get a new one. And then you would have to have that on, everybody have to buy those, get those like they used to from the treasurer's office and put them on vehicles. Short of that, it's very difficult to come up with any way of protect it. But we do know that particularly in the Austonsville area and the Barron Springs area, and to a lesser extent, some of the Rural Trade area, we do have a lot of, outer county residents that neither their county or our county, neither one have stickers, and we know that they are probably using the center. So, we've talked with the contractor. They would love that they want to limit the amount of out-of-county trash coming in because every bit of trash they get takes away a little bit from their bottom line in the process. So they do not like having out-of-county trash coming in and us disposing of it.
Would we be able to get some numbers on what that would cost to get county stickers back for what you just explained?
Mm-hmm.
I'd appreciate it. That's all I have.
Ms. Crowder?
I just wanted to say thank you to all the citizens that take the time to come up and talk. It takes a lot of courage as well as time and dedication to the community. Mr. Baer, do you have an update to the discussion that Mr. Floyd had about a meeting with Solixart?
Mr. Manley and I are continuing that discussion with them. They have not set a date yet in the process. We've indicated there is a desire and a commitment that we've said that we are, would have a public meeting. And they have indicated that they will do so at the right time, but they have not set that schedule with us. I will do another follow-up again with Mr. Manley and Mr. Knoll and see what we can do.
Okay.
That's all you got? Mr. Cook?
Nothing this time.
Nothing this time. Mr. Martin?
I just want to say thank you to the board for making the process, or getting the process going on the cannery, getting it back up and going. Been a lot of conversation about that in the last couple of months, so, and that's all I have.
Mr. Morgan?
Yeah, the broadband coverage. Or do we have an update on how they're coming with that?
Not much progress since the last time we talked about it. They have not been able to bury their cable with the ice and the conditions that we've had, so that they've really had to slow down. They have asked for an extension on completion of the project. They were scheduled to be complete by the end of June, and they've asked for an extension through the end of December, which is the maximum that they could go. That they intend to be done sooner than the end of the year, but they've asked for the extension. Just as a reminder, Citizens took over this project from Point Broadband when Point Broadband said that they couldn't finish the eastern end of the county. So Citizens has been behind the gun on this since the very start. So they had very limited time to get done. They've brought on extra contractors. They are making a lot of progress. They've been updating, and we've been sharing their updates on our website. A lot of roads have been completed, particularly on the eastern end of the county, as Citizens has worked from its traditional service area. Some areas of Ivanhoe are starting to get connected. So some of the areas that we've had a lot of complaints about, have actually started to see service. Folks who need to figure out if they can be served, there's an address tool on the Citizens Co-op website where you can type in your address and see if service is available. If it is, they'll tell you. If not, it'll tell you to call back later or to come back later. I think that the company has made a really earnest effort to reach out. They are looking for community meetings that they can attend. So if there's club meetings, church meetings, any sort of civic event that they can come to, any sort of big event where there's going to be a crowd, they'd like to be in attendance so that they can tell people, where they're serving and how soon they expect they'll reach the rest of the customers. They want to have that direct dialogue. So I've been really impressed with Citizens and how they've approached it, but they do have some pretty tight timelines that they've got to meet to get this project done.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you. That's all I have.
So, Mr. Terry?
Nothing at this time, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, sir.
All right, thanks, sir. I've got several things, believe it or not, but one, Mr. Bear, I've been in contact with Mr. Sheriff Klein. I know we've talked about this several times about a possible shooting range here locally. I also talked to Chief Haywood over the weekend as well, and he is talking about some additional property to expand the Max Meadows Fire Department down there. I think if we can get together with Sheriff Klein and Chief Haywood and then members of the board and some of the administration staff, just to get there to see what the need is and look at the property that Mr. Haywood was talking about. I'm not as familiar with it, but we didn't have a long time to talk, but we did briefly discuss that. So I just want to give you that. DSS funding, I know we talked about that a little bit. For everybody that doesn't know, the federal government has changed how they fund the DSS, so we will talk about that more in the budget session, but we'll probably see a little increase in funding DSS, which is the right thing for us to do, right? So, but it's unfortunate the federal government is changing how they do things there, so on that front. Mr. Bear, 1178 Sanders Mine Road, did you find out anything on that?
Did do some follow-up on it. Mr. Taylor has been out there reviewing everything on his side, trying to get the health department to see if there's anything they can enforce on their side for any actions on it. So,
Thank you, sir. And staying with the collection centers, have we revisited the potential of being able to recycle plastic again?
would love to have the opportunity to recycle plastic. I will ask them and follow up with them again, but the lack of markets, and that's what I heard from all of our surrounding counties, and several of them had indicated, a couple of them indicated they had already stopped it long before we had in the process. But I will follow up with our contractors on that and see.
Okay, I appreciate it. And then, just for clarification, we're still on for Thursday night, correct?
Thursday afternoon for revenue projections, yes.
Okay.
Revenue projections is scheduled for Thursday.
So all the board members has got a list of committees here that was left. So during our visit, we did talk to Dean Lynch as the executive director from the VACO conference, or the VACO group, and they have openings on all of these committees. If anybody would be interested in serving on one of these committees, just reach out to me or Mr. Morgan, or Mr. Bear, or Mr. Hankins and Ms. Collins, because we can get that information to you, in touch with how to do that. I know that my plans are to go ahead and be on the finance committee there, possibly one more. So just wanted to put that out in front of everybody, if you're interested in it. I would say anytime that you get to be with the VACO group, any of those events, you need to take that advantage. It's very educational. I think Mr. Morgan would agree with it. You get to spend time with your peers from other counties, and a lot of the problems that we think we have in Wythe County that nobody else has, they got them everywhere else too. So it was really eye-opening to me when you're sitting there from people from Northern Virginia, and they're talking about the same issues that we're talking about here for Wythe County. And normally when you think of Northern Virginia, you don't put Wythe County and Northern Virginia together, but it was very good trip for us to be in Richmond this time. We had a good time with the senators and the delegates. They desire your prayers big time, so they got a big chore ahead of them, so definitely do that. I do want to thank Ms. Collins for taking care of us and getting everything took care of us for us to be up there, and Mr. Bear, for you trusting me to drive your vehicle back.
You did better than I did. You do not have a dent in the
So we
windshield.
did make better time than you did, I will say that.
Mr. Chairman, if you allow me, on the committees, if you all have any questions about the committees, are interested, let me know, and I'll be glad to schedule a call with us with Dean Lynch, Executive Director, and he can talk about the timeframes and when they meet and anything like that, if anybody needs it. You know, I think it's always good if we have representatives that want to be involved with this.
And I think, if I'm not mistaken, we talked, we used to have people that would be on some of those committees, and we haven't in the last several years, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so if you're interested, please step up. If not, no issues there either. So. All right, moving on to the next item of business, I'll entertain a motion to go into closed meeting under the Code of Virginia 2.2-3711-A-8 on consultation with legal counsel, Apex Holdings contract.
So moved.
Got a motion by Mr. Turner, you'll have a second.
Second.
Second by Mr. Morgan. Any questions? All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Anybody opposed? We're now in closed session. We will take a 5-minute recess. All right, so I'll entertain a motion to come out of closed meeting.
So moved.
I got a motion by Mr. Cook. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Morgan. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. We're now back in open session. Mr. Terry?
Yes, sir. Whereas the Wythe County Board of Supervisors has convened a closed meeting on this date pursuant to an affirmative recorded vote and in accordance with the provisions of the Virginia Freedom of Info Act. Whereas Section 2.2-3712 of the Code of Virginia requires a certification by the Wythe County Board of Supervisors that such a meeting was conducted in conformity with the Virginia law. Now therefore be it resolved that the Wythe County Board of Supervisors hereby certifies that to the best of each member's knowledge, only public business matters lawfully exempted from open meeting requirements by the Virginia law were discussed in the closed meeting to which the certification resolution applies. And only such public business matters as were identified in the motion convening this closed meeting were heard, discussed, and are considered by the Wythe County Board of Supervisors. And I'll make that a motion, Mr. Chairman.
All right, I got a motion by Mr. Terry. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Morgan. Do a roll call vote. Mr. Burnett?
Aye.
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 All right, so approved. Is there any more business to bring forth, board?
No business, just, you've already covered one of them. We do have revenue collections meeting with the commissioner and treasurer to try to predict revenue for the upcoming year. coming up on Thursday, and we'll remind everyone that Monday is a holiday.
All right. Mr. Hankins?
Just would mention, we also have Thursday, the meeting of the Regional Improvement Commission. So far, no legislative changes that would affect the commission. We got a very positive response from our senators and delegates when we met with them in Richmond about that. So at this point, I don't anticipate there'll be a change, but we'll continue to keep an eye on it. Hopefully, it dies for this year.
All right, thanks, sir. Mr. Farthing? I don't have anything. All right, Ms. Collins? All right, anything from any of the board members? All right, hearing none, we'll be adjourned.